Okay. Good morning to all of you. Am
Morning,
I audible? Okay. So
doctor.
we are going to continue the last class discussion. In the last class, we are discussing about the formats you are supposed to submit. And this is available to you from the department. You can get a copy of that one. In which format, what kind of formatting required for your thesis, what is the order or sequence of the all the documents you are going to submit, right? There are some styles given here, how to write the citation or reference for the books, papers, and other things. So reference, you have to be sure that you are going to follow the referencing style mentioned in this document, right? Let them come. And also all the components of the evaluation is there, relevance of project, usability, workmanship, functionality, blah blah blah. That. So you can have a good idea about what should be in your project to get the good grades or acceptability, right? Now we are coming back to our presentation. So we are discussing in the last class research design, and we tried to understand that research design is the one kind of the blueprint, right? Or a type of the plan you are going to prepare to conduct your research, conduct your thesis, right? So finally, you can say research design is a framework for the research plan of the action. This is the a sort of the framework. How each action you are going to perform, what is the sequence of the activity that you are going to list out, that should be known as the research design. Or in other words, you can say that this is the master plan. You may be acquainted with master plan. Like in the production planning, we have the master production schedule, MPS or master production. That mentioned all the activities, include all the activities, right? Especially the methods, procedure for collecting and analyzing the needed information. Also, this research design can be thought of a strategy for how the data will be collected, what mode, interview, questionnaire, secondary data, or by performing some experiment. There are so many methods to collect the data. We'll discuss that one in the later classes. What are the different methods by which we can do the sampling and collect the data or like that. Okay. So this is all about the research design, definition and the concepts. Now, what can be the benefits or sorry, purpose of the research design? If you look upon the purpose, there should be some motivation to do any work. And for the preparing the research design document, it provides the scheme for the answering research questions. You are going to find out how you are going to address the questions or research problem, how you are going to solve that one. Same time, if you are going to maintain the research design document, it is going to avoid or going to control the any kind of biasness that may affect the outcomes, that may affect the results, right? Because you are following a scientific procedure. And already we have discussed that there should not be any scope for the personal biasness or opinion, etc. Whatever there should be. Facts should be reported in any research. that should not be influenced by the any social ideas, ideology, or your own biasness, and that is very tough to control biasness. Because as a human being, we are trying to be biased towards the something or other things. So that is a habit we have to develop to look at the any phenomena without getting biased, right? Also, research design organize the study in a certain way, defending the advantage of doing what, being aware and caution about the potential disadvantage. You are going to focus more upon the advantage, right? For any phenomena, there may be some advantage, some disadvantage. If you are coming with some new research, let's say, if you are coming with a new technology, let's say 5G or something, mobile technology, that is going to enhance the speed of the communication in a very bigger way. But with everything, there is some negative sides, like that is working the very high frequency, that may be detrimental to the ecosystem. Although research is not done so far, what kind of the effect of the that frequency will be on the human being or the other animals or the birds, whatever that may be. So when you are going to do the research, you have to be aware about their advantage as well as what can be the potential disadvantage of that one, and how we are going to address that one, right? Let's say if you are going to manufacture any product of the glass, so you are going to put some symbol there, this side up, or like how to carry that one, so that there should not be. So these kind of things should be always keep in mind, that there may be some advantage, some disadvantage, and how we are going to handle the disadvantage, right? What are the advantage of the research design? As you are working as a plan, you have a plan to work. Planning is very much necessary to perform any kind of job. If you are going to do any activity without any plan, there is a major chances of the failures. So whenever there is a plan, there is a design, and as per that you are going to work, that is going to give you the most beneficial or accurate results. Also, as per plan, you are going to work, you are going to look for the resources, right? What kind of resources is required, how that should be utilized. So beforehand, you have all the information. So research design provides or gives optimum efficiency and reliability in terms of the utilization of resources or any procedure or methods. Also, that helps to minimize the wastage of time and consequently the budget or money involved in that particular project. If you are working as per the research design, means and getting the result, no doubt, if you are going to follow your plan, there is a maximum chances of the success. And that success, initial success, whenever you're going to perform any activity, if you're going to do a little activity and achieve some result out of that one, that is going to boost up your confidence. Like in the case of the research, if your literature review is the good, that is the initial activity. And you got some ideas, some research came out of that one, that will boost your confidence in the research, right? Sometimes that provides satisfaction and success. Without plan, you can't achieve the success, okay? That's why whenever you are going to start your thesis, first you are required to prepare the proposal, research proposal. How we are going to do that one? What is the object? What are the different components there? So now we'll discuss about the different components, a research design maybe. And these components consist of the various elements. Like your research design should consist of there must be a title of the study. Generally, you would say it topic, okay? There should be a title, like effect of this phenomena on the particular thing, or investigation of the this, or development of a manufacturing production system for this, like that one. So there should be a title of the study. Title should be based upon the problem statement, what problem you're going to solve. Let's say if I'm going to solve some quality problem or some efficiency problem, and for that let's say I'm going to solve some efficiency problem. There is too much wastage in a company, and we have to decrease that wastage. And for that, for the decrease of the wastage, there are so many different concept tools available. Let's say for that purpose, I am going to use the lean manufacturing technique. Okay. So you can say that application or the development of the lean manufacturing techniques in the blah blah organization or like that one, or implementation issues, you can study about that one. What can be the issues there? What are the challenges there? That may be a study. Why efficiency is not going to increase or decrease? So that may be the problem, and on the basis of the problem, we are going to decide about the title. Literature review is a very important component. Already we have discussed about that one in the last 2 or 3 classes. Okay. I'm sure that those persons who are going to do the good literature review, they will succeed in doing a very brilliant thesis. If you are going to think that, okay, you have to only get the degree, anyhow, I have to submit a thesis and get the degree. That may be a casual approach towards your career, towards your life. When you are going to do some work, whether research or any academic work, other academic work or a study or whatever that may be, when we are going to invest, let's say 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, something time, why not be serious? Why not follow the scientific procedures? Why the wastage of that time? And somehow, all the efforts going to reflected in your future life. As a researcher or the mentor or guide or supervisor, I know that if a considerable amount of the number of the persons or the students just want to complete their studies, get the degree, that's all. By any means. They are not so serious. They have always some kind of the different kind of the problem that is not related in anything to the academics or whatever that may be. All persons, all having the problems in their own life. And how we are going to solve that problem, how we are going to prioritize your problem, that is going to make your life better or worse. So I suggest that for each and every person, do the comprehensive, very wide literature review. That would give you a lot of idea. That will make your base very sound. upon which you can build up your research. Some people do the copy and paste, just copy and paste from there. And no, just read all the things, write in your own words. What did you understood? That way you can improve your skills and you can contribute something to the society also. Okay. The third component is the area and scope of the study. Area, already you have seen the topic from which area that belongs, and a scope. A scope means, if I can explain that, let's say, a scope means, let's say, this is the whole universe. And out of that, I am going to consider only this space, focus upon this space. Let's say this is a system. That means my study is applicable on the only this one. This is the scope. That is not applicable in this area. Okay, this is applicable only here. Here no application. So a scope will be this one. And when you are coming to this part, this is the limitation. Okay. All the tools, all the methods, all the researches cannot be applied universally. This is the whole universe. Okay. At the all level, you can't apply all the things. So you have to define your scope. Then objectives. There will be two types of the objectives you have to mention. One is the broad one, and then the specific objectives. To achieve the broad objectives, you are going to divide your broad objectives into different small sub objectives, right? And how we're going to define the objectives, that should be based upon the problem statement. What problem you're going to solve, and what kind of different milestone you have to achieve. Each milestone can be treated as a objective or sub objectives. Okay. If you are going to do some sort of the testing of the hypothesis, some sort of the experimentation, more and more people in the manufacturing or engineering side are doing the research based upon the hypothesis testing. If value of x is increased, value of y will be decreased or remain same or increased, like that one. There should be some statement we have to prove. So you are going to work upon the formulation of the hypothesis. First you have to formulate, then testing, right? Then methodology. Methodology depends upon the type of the problem, the area in which you are working. The resources, there are many things that decide about the methodology, how we are going to solve a particular problem. That is the methods. Then another component there should be the sampling design. We'll discuss in detail in the sampling design for the knowledge purpose here, only to the introduce. From a large population, when you are going to select a very few, that is known as the sample. And there are different limitations. We have the limitation of the finance, limitation of the time, limitation of the manpower. There are so many limitations associated with any type of the project or activity, and research is not an exemption to that one. In the case of research, we have also this kind of limitation. So we can't go for the whole population, collect the data for the whole population. So what do? We take the samples, select few out of the whole population, conduct the experiment or take the opinion or distribute the questionnaire to get their opinion, take the interview of the few people. On base of that, we are going to analyze and come with the some inference, some results, right? So that when you're going to take the few out of the whole, that is known as the sampling. And how to do the sampling out of the whole population, whole universe, who should be selected, how should be selected, that kind of design is known as the sampling design. For the data collection, what is your target audience? Constructing the schedule or the question and collection of data, that is related to the how you are going to prepare the questionnaire, when you are going to collect the data, in which form you are going to collect the data. That should be also mentioned in your research design. That should be a part. That methodology should be clear to you. Then once you collected the data, how you are going to do the analysis, which tool you are going to use, what kind of the statistical analysis you are going to perform. Then interpretation of result, how we are going to interpret the results that coming out of the analysis of data, right? Once you are ready with the result, almost your research is complete. But after that also require the reporting the findings. What is the new findings or new thing you got? That has to be reported. And in which way you are going to report that one, that should be part of the research design. When you're going to prepare the research design document or the research proposal, you don't have any kind of the results or findings, but there should be some guidelines how the result will be interpreted, how that should be applicable. Whatever result you're going to get, how we are going to implement that one, and also how we are going to report the findings, if there should be some findings. One is the writing the thesis, another is the writing the research paper, journal paper, presenting in the conference. This kind of the reportings you can do. And also you have to prepare the time and financial budgeting. For the time you can use the Gantt chart or any monitoring chart. And for financial, there should be another chapter in your thesis or research proposal, let's say, on the budget. How much bid you are going to spend upon your particular project. And I think there is some support from the university also. I'm not sure about how much they support, but there is. Okay. So these are the different components. Now coming for the different designs, what are the different designs, research designs we have? There are different kinds of research design, but for our purpose, we are going to discuss only 3 research design. And out of 3, one is the most important to us as an engineering professionals. Please mute your microphone. Okay. So here in this course, we are going to discuss about these 3 types of the research design, and we'll see which one is applicable to which type of the research, right? One is the exploratory type research design, second is the descriptive, and third is the experimental type research design. This third type, experimental type research design, is most suitable to our case. For any technology or manufacturing related problem to solve that one. So we'll discuss in detail the experimental type and the design of experiment and all the things in this case, okay? But we can have an overview of these 2 types, exploratory type research design and descriptive type, and try to understand how that is different from our experimental type research design. So let us start from the first one. Exploratory type research design is applicable where the research problem or information research problem is not well defined, or research topic or area is not well understood. That may be used for the defining the research problem in a better way, or being more specific, or too much information is not available. In that case, there people use the exploratory type research design. Basically, more problems comes from the social sciences, not the natural science, like psychology and the other fields. They use this kind of exploratory type research designs. Also, this is known as the formulative research study, because on the basis of this exploratory type research design, we are going to formulate the problem. Problem formulation is going to happen, right? So that requires a lot of the flexibility also. So this is the most flexible research design. There is no strict guidance, okay, this will follow like that one. Because you are going for the collection of the information, trying to understand the phenomena, right? So done in the field, whether there is a little knowledge is available about the particular phenomena, there is no knowledge or little knowledge is available, you do this kind of the research to enhance that knowledge base. And there is no necessary that you are coming out of some outcome, some result that may be not required. If you are going to add something, some new information about some particular phenomena, some topic, some area, that's okay for the exploratory type research design, right? When we can apply, in which cases we can apply this kind of the research, exploratory research. First one, when you must define the problem more precisely, more specific problem definition is required, and you don't have, then you can go for explorative research. In the case of the manufacturing, we have the sound base. For each and everything, we have the theory. Very few topics or areas may become into the purview of the explorative research, basic research. So in the most of the cases, problem is well understood, so you are not going to do the explorative research. Instead of that, you are supposed to do the experimental research, right? To identify relevant course of action, what should be the different steps you should take. If problem is not understood, effect is not understood, input is not understood, how can you develop the hypothesis? So to develop the hypothesis, we require what is the input, what is the output. If this happens, then there are two variables. One is the dependent, one is the independent. To understand that, if we are not able to understand from the available literature, to understand that, we have to do the exploratory research. Other cases, if you want to gain the additional insight before developing any approach, any methods, what to apply, you can go for the exploratory research. Or establishing the priorities for the further research. In that case also, this kind of research will help you. So these are the application area when explorative research should be done. If there is a requirement of the more specific definition of the problem, then you can go for the exploratory research, right? So depending upon the needs, these are the needs, okay? If there is this kind of needs, then the research methods or research design you are going to follow, that should be explorative. Understood? Okay. The second kind of the research design is the descriptive type of the research. This is very rigid because in the descriptive, we are going to collect the information about the description. We are going to describe. So just looking upon observation, you are collecting the some data and you are describing, you are giving the information what is happening. That's so you don't have too much flexibility in this kind of research. So this should be a rigid design. Some probability sampling design may be required from which source, which sample data have to be collected. There should be the pre-planned design for analysis. A structured instrument for the collection of data in the form of the questionnaire, whatever that may be, recording, video, whatever that may be. You can record the video of the particular process and then frame by frame you can analyze. Let's say if you're going to do some method study or work study sort of things to improve the productivity of a particular process. We record that whole operation and then frame by frame we analyze, okay, this movement is required or not, like that. Remove the unnecessary movement or whatever that will improve the process. That will improve the method. So this research design in which the major emphasis on the determining the frequency with something occurs or the extent to which two variables co-vary. Problem is understood. Now we are collecting the data or description. That kind of the research will be known as the descriptive, only giving the information. All things are happening there, you are not supposed to interfere in that one. So what this gives to us, enable researcher to describe picture of the phenomena under investigation. What is really happening there? You can get the information about that one. Methodology involves generally the qualitative survey, questionnaire, whatever that may be in the social sciences, and some descriptive data. Give the description. Something like if you learn about the socio-economic problem of some particular area, you can say people are very poor, there is a lack of the other infrastructure, that kind of the description. And how to record the participation observation, you are going to observe the participant in the particular of the particular phenomena. Personal documents or unstructured interviewing, like that one, from that you are going to collect the data. Okay, so these can be the approaches that can be applied for the descriptive. Now the most important for us is the experimental type research, and most of you, almost all, are going to follow the experimental type research design. This is not a very old thing. Ronald Fisher, R.A. Fisher, he was an agricultural scientist, and as a one person, he has such a huge contribution for experimental design. that no one can believe that one. Just one person has the put the base for all the statistical analysis. Right? So we are going to follow the experimental type research in the most of the cases. Sometimes if you want to improve the problem statement or something like that one, you can go for the exploratory. Right? For details, you can refer to this page. This will give a lot of the information about this man. Let me show you. So if we can say this man, Ronald Fise, his work is acknowledged in all the areas of scientific investigation and discovery, right? So you can read out if you want interested in this one, what work he has done and how they implemented. Okay. Now we have the last minutes. Any question you have, we are going to stop at this point. Any question you have, you can ask now. Okay. Any questions? Anything you want to discuss? Research requires a lot of the reading through different sources. Try to read as much as you possible. You can. Right. Okay, we'll continue this discussion in the next class also. Basically focus on the experimental research design. That is our main focus. Okay. So if no question, then we are going to end this